Welcome back to another episode of the Armchair Pundits podcast. This is the weekend review show, and Liverpool are the champions still, and it feels
Still.
good. Yeah, but obviously someone decided to skip last week, innit? So I need my guard of honor from the almost chasers, the second.
Man said
Bruv, they
chasing.
ain't almost chasers.
Brother, listen.
Horrible name.
I don't think you're gonna get a guard of honor from us, because
Oh, you will.
Wrong group.
no.
Wrong group.
You've done it before. You've done it before.
Well. Did Chelsea give you one?
Yeah.
They did. Oh, okay. You don't deserve two in a row, man. You don't deserve two in a row. You don't deserve two in a row.
And then we decided to make the
We're-
race for second more interested.
We're being salty. So,
That's not like Arsenal fans. Come on.
bro. I'm being salty. I don't want to. I'd feel hurt I'd feel more hurt if we finished fourth and gave you a guard of honor than if we finished second and didn't give you. I'd finish more hurt if we didn't give you a guard of honor and finished second, and if we gave you a guard of honor and finished fourth, I'd be vexed. That's what I'm talking about. We don't need to give you no guard of honor.
Did Chelsea give you one for real, or are you bantering?
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Oh, I didn't see it.
Losers.
Yeah, they clapped them out.
Of course. There was an arrangement. Like, you give us the guard of honor, we let you win the game, and you can take down Arsenal.
Wow. James, they looked into the pod last week when I said they're going to lose fifth.
Every game has a silver line. Every cloud has a silver lining, right?
I said it'll be 3-1 as well, didn't I? I said it'll be 3-1.
Yeah, you did call it to be fair.
not to Chelsea.
Anyway, before you say anything else, guys, don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button. So, just waiting for the congratulations from Bevan because he's such a gracious guy.
I gave you a round of applause already.
Thank you.
Well done. Reluctantly.
So yeah, while you were away, we did predictions for last week, and Lamont went for a 2-1 win to Brentford. Obviously, they lost 4-3, and it looked peak for a while, boy.
Very peak.
They're going to get buried. But they came back, showed some fight. Leon said West Ham would win 2-1 against Spurs. And it was obviously a 1-1. And I said that the Liverpool game would be 3-1.
Which it was, but not to Liverpool. Which is what you said last week. I like the way you read that out, though. I like the way you read that out, but you said 3-1 Liverpool, and it wasn't that.
In my defense, I wasn't expecting that midfield to be rolled out, boy. I was like, hey. But yeah. So
the man are on holiday, bruv. The man are on holiday. Yeah, straight vacation.
Yeah, it wasn't good. But running down Liverpool's game against Chelsea, 3-1 defeat. Then Arsenal losing to Bournemouth 2-1. Then we'll do Brentford beating Man United 4-1. Then West Ham draw
4-3.
4-3. And then Man City beating Wolves 1-0. So yeah.
Why are you trying to always try and make Man United's goal difference worse than it is, bruv? It's already bad, bro. Like, chill out.
I'm alright, bruv. I can see you got your hood on, so it's cold still.
It's cold, mate.
Everyone's from hay fever and everything else, and the sun's out.
I don't suffer from hay fever, man. I'm good. But yeah, we're at -9 now.
Touch wood, I don't either.
Them man are suffering. Them man have got frostbite over there, innit?
Do you know what? Yeah.
You go on?
This league table, bro. Every time I look at it, I feel like I need to get my Kleenex out, bro. Honestly, we're still down there when we ain't got 40 points yet, Jay. Like, it's embarrassing. 39 points. We're getting closer and closer. If we lose our next 2 games, I have to do some kind of forfeit.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to. I don't know why. I just feel like and I said it to.
The group.
Our next game is. Oof, that's a great question, mate.
Admittedly, I've stopped looking
West
at
Ham.
that. Oh, okay. That's there you go. There's your points.
Bruv, they're down there with us.
It's gonna be a draw.
You'll get your points.
I think it'll be a draw, though. I think it'll be a draw.
40 points, isn't
You
it?
get 40.
Yeah, I
You
think.
get your points. You're all right, man.
You get your 40.
Yeah.
Hopefully not. So, yeah. So, there's not much to say. I've already done my Liverpool talk. I thought it was going to be, with a week, the players having 2 days off. I thought, Wednesday they'll still be groggy. Then they've got Thursday, Friday, Saturday to train and be cool. But then when I saw the lineup, and whenever we've had a game, it hasn't been often, admittedly, but when we've had a game without McAllister and Gravenberch in midfield, it doesn't look good. And then Endo in there, who actually had the best game of everyone, but that midfield, I was like, we ain't winning 3-1. We're probably going to lose this game 3-1. Slot told us, if I'm being honest, he said in the press conference that he's going to make changes and players that haven't played that deserve to play minutes will play. But I didn't expect Quansah to be one of them.
Oh, mate, he had a horrible game, bro.
No, I'll back him. He didn't have a horrible game, but after the own goal, his head dropped. Before the own goal, he was fine. There was nothing wrong with his game before the own goal. Wasn't that full? And you can't even blame him for the own goal. Van Dijk smashes the ball at him and goes in the back.
Yeah, that was Van Dijk all over.
Yeah, you can't blame him for that. But because
that was Van Dijk all over. That is true.
Yeah, it's nonsense, obviously. But you skip over that, innit? You had to give it air, bruv. I tried to skip over it.
I
had to. The people need to hear that again. They needed to.
Yeah, the nonsense. But, it hits him.
But it was mad. Van Dijk tried to get angry at someone else, bruv. I was like, well, bruv, you kicked it against, man. Well, who are you blaming, bruv?
He's probably saying why he's probably not supposed to be in a position. I don't know. He's probably not supposed to be there. I don't know.
Bro.
But for me, before that, he was playing fine. And he had a few loose passes, but he's 21 years old. 21-year-old centre-backs can have a few loose passes here and there. And he hasn't started a game for a while. But the season he's had, I knew his head was going to drop. And I think if it was a more meaningful game, Slot probably would have subbed him. He's done it before.
Would have dragged him off, yeah.
Yeah, he would have dragged him off because he doesn't seem to be able to handle adversity yet at his age in his young career. Obviously, the third goal, Szoboszlai, what are you doing? Don't give him the ball there. But at the same time, you've played more than 2 Premier League games, bro. Like, don't dive in. Just stand him up. You don't need to dive in. Don't need to put your foot in there. He did something similar, gave away a penalty. I think it was against Crystal Palace last season, where the ball was in the air and he swiped at it and kicked Mateta's foot, and Crystal Palace got a penalty. So it may sound bad. I gave him a 3, obviously, because there are 2.
Can I ask you a question? I didn't get to get through the whole recording and get to the ratings. What did you give Salah?
I gave Salah a 6.
Why?
Second half, he was fine. First half, he wasn't great.
Cucurella had him on toast, blood, the whole game. Which 6?
Cucurella only has his hair on toast, bruv.
Bruv, he had salad in his pocket.
Game. No, he didn't.
Bruv, he had salad in his pockets, mate. The whole game. He barely done anything, Jay. Anything. Cucurella had him on a barbecue, blood, the whole game.
Salah should have had 2 assists that game. Apart from poor heading, there's one for what's his name, for Núñez. Núñez should head it straight in, and there's one for Jota. If they both head it in, you say he's got him on toast, but he had 2 perfect crosses just to be headed in. He didn't have him on toast. He didn't. People finish their dinner. Salah has 2 assists and he's 1 away from the record. So people like to say that stuff, but Salah did his job second half. First half, yes, admittedly, he wasn't great. But second half, and more to the point, when what's his name came on, when McAllister and Szoboszlai came on, then we picked up. And from that point, we were a better team. Yes, they got the penalty, but the penalty was lucky. After we made those substitutions, Chelsea were fully under it.
Yeah, right. I think the majority of your team looked like they were out of office, though, to be fair. Yeah. Looked like they clicked that and they're just like, we're just going to play autopilot. Just going to, tick things over. If we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. But I'd imagine Slot wouldn't have been happy with that foot performance overall, as in its entirety, just because he doesn't want to lose just because they've won the title now. Do you get what I'm saying? He wants to keep, the integrity of, the team and the mental state, to the end of the season. But obviously,
He's partially to blame.
Yeah, I agree. Because the team selection was a little bit naive, in my opinion. But I feel like also, I think you said it a couple of weeks, Jay, when you were saying about you don't know what the measure of Slot is just yet in terms of man management. Because what does he do when he wins the title? Does he give a couple of the guys that are close to getting a medal a game or not? And as I saw Chiesa's number come up, I thought, there you go, James. You got what you wanted to some degree. Do you get what I'm saying? As in, he's a good...
That was the second highlight of the day. Van Dijk scored his header and the Chiesa coming on. I was like, thank you, finally.
Yeah.
For me, the lineup for that game would have been only to bring in Elliott to start. Other players get half an hour. You know what I mean? Like Elliott to start. It's away at Stamford Bridge. They haven't beaten us in like 10 games or something like that. And they need to finish in Champions League position because of the money they need and obviously where they want to play next season. So it wasn't a game to make those changes. But as I said in my podcast, who cares? It was a game where it meant nothing to Liverpool, unfortunately. No. We all hate losing, but it meant nothing to us other than to try and make like I said, we had a deal.
When are those players going to get a run out? Because you said all season that Slot hasn't really changed the team and he's played the same team all season. Some of those guys are going to get a run out now, and where there's nothing to really play for apart from points.
Yeah, it's good that he's giving it now, but it's almost too late to see it properly because you're not going to get a true barometer if you make that many changes.
Like, no, you're not. But then, like some players have looked like they've needed a rest for a long time.
Yeah. Gravenberch was the one. Like I said, I only would have made one change, or at most two. You can take out Gravenberch, and you can take out Szoboszlai, and I'd play McAllister, I'd play Jones, and I'd play Elliott. That would have been a better midfield.
Here's a question for you. Who do you think he'll do the same thing? Maybe not play the same team per se lineup, but do you feel like he'll try to integrate some more newbies or guys that are not regulars in for the Arsenal game?
No, it's at home. After that game, if we had won that game, then maybe roll.
Maybe
losing that game, we had more possession, we had less shots, we had more possession and stuff like that. But losing the game the way we did, and with Arsenal being second, I don't think he will. Because you don't want to lose at Anfield. Let's be honest. He's really experienced that once. And to the team that's come second behind you, no. I don't think he will. I'd be surprised if he did. I think he'll make one or two. But if Konate's not playing, I'll be supremely surprised. And maybe he may drop a... No, suppose that will have to play.
He has to play. He has to, bruv.
James, in all honesty, obviously, no one wants to lose games, but you literally, there's nothing for you to play for like right now. You're not protecting no unbeaten records, anything like that. Titles sewn up. Slot has to try these guys out.
Finish as well, though.
No, but he has to try these guys out against worthy opposition. And I'm not saying that other teams who are lower down the table are less worthy, but as you said, you don't want to do this against Arsenal. Playing away from home against Chelsea, who we know on their day are capable of beating anyone, but also capable of losing to anyone as well. It's the right type of game for you to try those guys out. And I don't think it was just about him playing. I think it's seeing who fits well together. The guys that don't play often, it's about seeing whether they have chemistry with some of those other guys, because realistically, you can't, as you're saying, during the season, yes, you can make one or two changes, but you need to know what combinations work, and he hasn't been able to try that throughout the whole season. No. So this is the perfect thing.
That midfield has played against Southampton in the Cup. It didn't look great, and that midfield
exactly. But he's tried it again, and remember, it's not just the midfield; it's some of the other parts as well that he's put in. There was no Robertson. There was no.
That's normal though.
But I'm just saying right now. Obviously, we know that Quansah, he needs confidence. He's not looked the same since that Ipswich game, literally getting dragged off. When he came through last season, he looked like he was going to be a great youngster to build up from. But for me, I understand the frustration and you wanted to, put more points on the board just, to make it look nice and have that momentum going into next season. But he has to do this. He has to be able to tell the board, this is what I need. And you've seen it now. with the
Yeah.
performances that we've had
Yeah.
against these teams. So I think it's one of those ones you have to try it out to see what happens. And now he knows that some of those guys realistically don't really have a future in his squad. Let's be honest.
I'd have been happier if it was the last two games, Brighton and Crystal Palace, rather than the Chelsea and what do you call it?
I understand, but again, he wants to put those up against top quality, and I mean top quality,
True.
because Chelsea, we said at one point, should have been contending, but they fell off. Obviously, they're still challenging for Champions League, but they are the type of teams that you're going to need to know whether those guys are up to that level.
Yeah, I hear you. Like I said, it's annoying. I'm not vexed we lost. It's just annoying that we lost. But yeah, we move on to another team that lost. There's going to be a theme to this until a certain point.
To the drawers, plug up the gaps.
We move on to Arsenal Bournemouth. I didn't expect Bournemouth to win. Because Arsenal.
You say you did or you didn't?
I didn't. Not when I saw the lineup, because Arsenal played a strong lineup. They're stronger than I thought it was going to be.
I called Arsenal to lose this game before the game happened. I don't know if Lamont why? Because I know my team, bro. There's not all season. I have called when my team are what they got to do, and I knew that after what happened in midweek, that this game against Bournemouth we are going to lose, and like I could predict our results to the end of the season because I go on.
Good question. Did you predict them coming second in the league?
No.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
I was just asking a question. I thought you might have predicted that as well.
Where did you predict your team to finish in the league?
No, I'm just asking.
I'm just asking too. Can you tell me?
13th, something like that. So we're a bit below where I thought we would be this time of the season.
You might want to take the free off of that because I think it was first, did it? But anyway, we move. We're talking about my team right now. Yeah. So, after midweek, where we huffed and puffed, I looked at this game and I could see a potential banana skin. And we got outdone again by 2 set pieces. We've gone from the team last season that conceded the least amount of set pieces to a team that concedes one of the teams that concede the most. It's just that throw-in was a good set piece, but what a poor goal to give away. I couldn't believe it. That was a simple header. And then the corner, Odegaard got bullied. And
it's weird though, because like, if I'm honest, when I'm looking at Arsenal's setup, why would they go so strong when they know they got Champions League in a week and risk injuries? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Because we don't perfect sense. Because as we said, Champions League is not sewn up for them.
Fair.
And they haven't. There is no squad. There is no depth. If you look at what Arteta does in the season, and if you look at how what did he when we made substitutions? I think last week we made a substitution with a minute to go, or during midweek, and this week he makes substitutions with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's true.
Like I don't know who he's going to bring off the bench to play, or to change things. He rested Marino for this game.
Yep.
And like now, Waneri's minutes have been sewn up.
Why though? Because he's a baller. He's only because Saka's come back.
Brother, I don't know.
It's because Saka's come back. Because Saka's come back.
I know Saka's come back, but like the same thing with Ange is the same thing with Arteta. The way that he's played these players into getting injuries because he's played them all season. I know the same thing's happened with Liverpool, and luckily enough they haven't been injured. But he's run some of these players into the ground. No matter what happens, like Saka's going to play, no matter what it is. And there are times where he should come off in games and he doesn't take him off. And in this game, it's we huffed and we puffed. We should have scored goals, but as soon as we get to a point where we don't score goals, it's like their heads drop and the game is over. And as soon as Bournemouth scored their equaliser, the game's only going one way. Bournemouth are looking like they've got more attacking impetus. They look like they're on it more, and they look more likely to score the goal. And that's the issue. And we've been saying it all season about not signing a striker and not the answers are got to come from
There's
within.
another example there, innit?
But they're still searching for answers within.
Yeah.
There's no plan B. Like this guy is stubborn. I feel like they're gonna pull off his mask and he's gonna have glasses on and white hair. He's going to be Arsene Wenger because he says the same stuff that he's saying the same stuff. When we're trying to sign someone, we're trying really hard to sign someone in the window. Don't sign nobody. Oh, we got to find answers within. There are no answers.
Yeah, and I'm looking at your Bev. I'm looking at your bench as well, yeah, and it's sparse. You're not wrong.
Brother,
like quality wise, you ain't got nothing down there.
Nothing, and you're trying to tell me
Nawari and Marino are probably the two kind of reputable guys that you will step in and say, "Yo, them man, they can start a game." But
and Sterling, like you didn't. Even, there are games where Sterling doesn't even come on.
Yeah,
bruh, Sterling has been a horrible signing for you guys. By the way,
it doesn't matter.
What Sterling not playing well? Or
as in Arteta. So, like Arteta saw him in training and then didn't trust him from the get go because from the beginning it was like, why is he not getting minutes from the start?
But has Martinelli not been horrible?
Exactly. So I'm saying, is it Arteta's fault that he didn't give him a chance?
That's
to
what
find
I said.
Confidence.
He's Wenger. He's stubborn. If he don't play his way, then he's not changing anything. And when we gone to sign players, we've needed a striker for how long? Doesn't sign one. So whatever happens this season, it's going to be his fault. And he's going to have to shoulder a lot of the blame. Like a couple weeks ago, Lamont said to me about sacking him if we don't win the league and we don't win the Champions League. And I think if we get knocked out of the Champions League and we drop lower in the table and we drop to like fourth or something like that, there are going to be some serious question marks about him, and he cannot use injuries as a response because every team gets injuries. You got to adapt. You got to play a different type of way. If I've been dissing Lamont about his manager being one-dimensional and about his manager playing the same formation, no matter if it's not working, then you got to try to do something different, and it's got to come from the manager. And so, at some of these things, he's going to be at fault. They can't just crumble like this, and you can't just blame. You can't just blame the same things that happen to every other team. You got to adapt, and I don't see where the adaptation is coming from.
Question.
Yeah, go on, Lee.
I'll say, Bevan, is there no... Arsenal usually have some wonder kid up their sleeve or a player who they end up sending to France or somewhere else and they bang goals in. Isn't there no one in the youth, not in the youth team, but obviously in the Premier League 2 reserves that's kind of on the cusp of being able to make that transition? But like right now, you've had to fill in with midfielders and wingers in that position. So wouldn't it be the opportunity to try and see if you can pull someone at the back? Because we've seen Arsenal have got youngsters, man.
Yeah, I know that. I know they talk about was it Max Stolman and there's a striker as well. I cannot remember.
Is Stolman a striker? Or isn't he? He's like a 10. He's like
midfielder. Like a new Odegaard.
It's like a new Odegaard and stuff like that.
It was Cheeto. Cheeto was the one.
Cheeto, that's what I was going to say. He was
the one.
Yeah, but I'm sure that there was another striker that got called up, but he doesn't trust him. So he's risk. The guy, he's risk adverse. So even if there was a guy, he's not going to take the risk doing it. If you look at the way that we play football, we get to the final third of the pitch, and then they're 1-on-1 with the defender. Rather than taking the defender on, they cut back. So even if there was a youngster in and around the team to play, they are not playing. It's just not going to happen. He's not going to take that chance. And talking about being brave and all that kind of stuff, you can't be brave and play fearfully. Like faith and fear can't live in the same place, and that's what it is. It's too safe. There's no risk. There's no trying to do stuff, and like I feel like Odegaard is still injured because I don't know where that guy's been. He's hiding.
To be fair, since Saka got injured, he fell off. Then Saka came back and he kind of found his feet a little bit. But then I get what you mean. His consistency just really kind of dropped off. All he's doing now is receiving the ball and not really creating any... I say not really, as in, I'm not saying he's not doing nothing. I'm just saying he's not creating the volume of chances that Arsenal fans will be familiar with. Do you get me?
he's receiving the ball, but there are times when he looks like he doesn't want the ball. He's not. It's not like he's. There were times when you see him when he'd drop deep to come and get it. Now he's kind of like in between the lines, but there's no passing lane on for him. So it's like he's hiding, and he's not dictating the game in the way that he should. A lot of other players are being spoke about more than him, and if you're the captain, then they need more from you to do that. If he's injured, then fair enough. And I personally, I think he may be, but he's got to step up, man. He's got a lot to step up for, especially when you don't have the guy up front that you need. You need everyone else to work harder.
Yeah, and get goals from them other positions as well.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? Viv? Now, obviously, I made a comment last week in your absence about second place not being cemented. Yeah,
It's not.
And this is not a draw out like my normal way. This is a genuine question. Do you think Arsenal in the next 3 games have the ability to keep second place, or are you a little bit fearful that you might actually have to sacrifice second place just because of the manager you've got in place?
I don't see. It's going to be difficult for us to get second place. I don't see it. If I'm honest, we got Liverpool next, and we got to go to Anfield to play them. The way that we're playing, there's nothing that inspires me confidence that we're going to go to Anfield.
And that's straight after PSG as well, isn't it?
Straight after PSG.
And
So if then Newcastle, who have rolled us over 3 times this season already.
1-0, 2-0,
and they're 4
2-0.
points behind you, by the way.
Brother, come on. That team knows how to play. Think about what Newcastle do. They let us have the ball and they get us on the counter attack. Very, very easy. And because we're playing into teams' hands. It's slow. We're not taking chances, and we've been saying it. They get chances and don't take them.
So in theory,
I'm not.
You could be fourth by the time if you lose to, by the time you finish against Newcastle, you could be fourth.
We could be fourth, which would be diabolical, and which would mean that Arteta's in a lot of trouble, because if he finishes fourth this season and has a bad start to next season, he could be.
You really think they'll pull the trigger?
I think they could. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be outrageous to say it. Because
what you say fourth, it's more like fifth, because Chelsea are on 63 as well.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking of direct, innit?
You're thinking 1 game or 2? Because if you're thinking 2 games...
Yeah, I'm thinking 2 games. But Chelsea have to win
Liverpool,
those games.
They lose against Liverpool and they lose against Newcastle.
Yeah, or draw against Liverpool.
Then they go fifth. If Chelsea win and both them games that they've got... Remember I said to you, Chelsea games are a little bit... They're a little bit tricky.
Yeah, but I'm thinking more direct, because obviously Man City have got Southampton next, which they're going to win.
Yeah.
So if they lose to us, that's 3 points. That's their level. They're on level, isn't it? So I'm only thinking of Arsenal's results directly, and the Man City gimme.
Because Chelsea got Newcastle and then they got United, so that's 6 points in the bag.
It's not really, because Chelsea
Newcastle they got to play a fellow contender.
Yeah, Chelsea Newcastle will be a tough game as well.
Yeah, Chelsea Newcastle is a tough
the Newcastle game straight after Europe as well for them, so they're going to be a little bit lackluster. But anyway,
yeah, but I'm not even trying to be negative, but if you think about what Arsenal fans are like, he finishes fifth,
Arteta out,
and then doesn't win the Champions League, and then has a bad start to next season. And they do the same foolishness in the window. There's nothing. The thing is, sometimes you got to look at the team and look at what they do to see if they're going to inspire.
Bruv, they have to get a striker in the summer. They have to. It's been 2 years or more. Was it 3 years? Bro, when's the last time you actually? It's got to be 2 or 3 years, because
they're going to get you a striker, man. That's one thing. Berta is their
their dope sporting director.
Yeah. He's trying hella strikers for Atletico Madrid, but they've not all hit. But most of that problem is Simeone. Simeone requires the strikers to do things that they would never be able to have to do at other clubs. They have to do some donkey work where, so it hasn't worked out for him. But he's not afraid to pull the trigger on getting a striker. I think they'll get. I think they'll probably get 2 strikers. They need 2. Realistically, one's not enough.
No, it's not enough. But it's just, like I say, if he has a bad start to the season and he finishes the season fifth, I think that
Eesh,
there's going to be a lot. No, I'm
fifth in a
it's
two-horse
not-
race, two-horse title race.
it's-
Fifth. Hey, folk.
diabolical work. It's and I'm not even trying to be reactionary, but watching how my team has been playing and the drop off since January, where we have been in winning positions and dropped points from those positions. It's unacceptable, and he's going to have to shoulder some of the blame for this. And giving those company man responses to the media. Oh no, yeah, we're definitely trying to sign someone, and it's got to be the right player. It just sounds like somebody that used to say that.
What do you think of the little videos he's putting out? Bring your shin pads, bring your boots.
Oh man,
Do you find it cringy, corny?
I find it cringy and corny at the same time, man. Don't get me wrong. I feel like the fans need to get behind the team and they shouldn't be silenced in that type of way. But doing all that kind of stuff, man, it's cringy, man. Like especially when they're not seeing performances, they're not seeing the team come out and try. They're not seeing you make changes. They're just seeing you looking worried on the touchline. Yeah, I don't particularly like it myself. Just make teams a laughing stock.
Okay, fair enough.
Rant over.
So
was it 4-3 United?
Yeah.
Or 4-3 Brentford?
keep losing streak going.
Yeah.
No leading.
Wait.
No segue.
Trust me.
Yeah. No segue needed, bruv. That was just, it is what it is, isn't it?
Makes me feel better.
Look, we started the game well. What can I say, bruv? We went 1-0 up. Mount scored. His first goal he scored since he's been back from injury in over a year. I think he's, since he scored. Garnacho serving him up nicely as well. So I like that. But even though we scored that goal, we still look nervous to begin with. It's weird. Like Shaw nearly scores. He tries to header the ball back to the keeper. The keeper misjudges it, and the ball just trickles past the post. And I was thinking, oh my days. Yeah, it's a funny one now because I don't think any of the United fans have got any skin in the game when it comes to the league at the minute, because we can't get relegated. We can only get as high as 13th. So it's like, we just don't want to be embarrassed. And this game could have been embarrassing had we have not, picked up the slack in the last 10 minutes or last 5 minutes of the game. Do you get what I'm saying?
And if they were more clinical, they had 6 big
say again?
chances. And if they were more clinical as well.
Oh, yeah. Mate, they got one hell of a throw set piece, like Delap-esque. Unreal. And it goes right on the button every time. So I imagine that they'll take that. I mean, they've not been using that all season. And if they have been, I mean, I hold my hands up. But
It's only when he plays.
Fair.
I've forgotten the guy's name now.
He had a very, very good, very good game, by the way. But Brentford were all over us from the jump, pretty much. They were taking so many risks. They were pressing us high. They were just running more. They were doing a lot. I feel Brentford, if they continue their trajectory going into next season, maybe make, a couple of investments over the summer, I reckon they'll be challenging way higher up in the league, because they've got some really good quality over there. And I feel like, all they need is a bit of belief, which I feel like they had when they played us, and they also had in the game that they had before that. Do you know what I mean?
They beat Forest midweek.
But yeah, I think yeah. But I feel like, United at the minute, our focus is on Europe, making Champions League next season, and just trying to shore up some things that we know that if we don't get Europe, if we don't win the Europa League, there's some guys that are not going to want to stick around, more than likely, and also there's going to be some guys that don't want to sign for us in the summer that we've potentially got. Go on, Jay.
There's some guys that don't want to stick around.
No. What I'm saying is there may be some guys that don't want to stick around if we don't have Champions League or some kind of Europe next season.
Who?
Do you understand?
Who?
Have you not heard the news about Bruno? Bruno, Saudi Arabia coming for Bruno. They won him for the World Club Cup this summer. They want to sign him in June.
I don't know whether or not Bruno would go because all the chatter and the stuff that I'm seeing in the papers and stuff is he gives me the vibe that he's here for a little longer than just this season.
He does.
But I feel like the guys that we might be looking to acquire in the summer, if we don't get Champions League, they're gonna just be like, "Oh, miss me with it," and go for one of the other challengers. Do you know what I mean? Someone else that's higher up in the league, which you can't blame them for. We started this game how we started the game against the previous contender, to be honest with you, the week before. Who did we have? I'm just looking there quickly. But we just seem to be starting the first 10 or 15 minutes really nervy, and we can't really be doing that when we're going into Europe and, for the rest of the season. I think we just need to kind of get some momentum.
Bournemouth.
And, yeah, that's it. We just need to get some momentum and just really kick on and just forget about this season, man. It's really a struggle to watch us at the minute, though, bruv. Really a struggle to watch us. At 1-0 up, I'm not going to lie to you. I thought to myself, right, we started risky, 1-0 up, right. Let's secure everything and we start playing and maybe we could get a couple of goals and put these guys to bed by half time. Not a chance. Not a chance, bruv. Shaw wasn't careful enough to miss the post the first time before I'll put it in the next time. and then puts it 1-1.
There's no such thing as comfortable at Brentford's ground, bro. No one's been comfortable at that ground. No matter what team. They're just one of the, like, they're really strong at home. They, as you said, they put a lot of pressure on. And, like, even though you went 1-0 up, like, I knew that they were going to respond. And it was just a case of whether they took their chances. Because like, we can still see Manu's system still doesn't suit the players that they've got in there. And obviously making the changes, it actually didn't have that much of an effect until later on. But I feel like at the point when Man United got their 2 goals, the game was pretty much done and Brentford took their foot off the gas. So it allowed those guys to be able to capitalise on that. And it obviously was a good couple of strikes, one from Garnacho and one from Diallo. But the game was over. Like it's one of those. There were consolations and made the scoreline look pretty, but it was
more respectable than it was. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I mean, look, there's a couple of honourable mentions. I think Frederick that played the right side of the set. Fredrickson. Yeah, he looked decent. To be fair, he's had a couple of kind of inclusions in the first team in the kind of this part of the season, and he doesn't look bad. He looks comfortable over there. So I feel like we need to kind of keep the faith with him, get another academy boy in the squad amongst the ranks, and hopefully, when and if injuries strike us again, we'll have a good understudy or deputy just to step in. Amas didn't do too badly for himself as well. I feel like he done all right on the left-hand side. I feel like Shaw wants to forget that game against Brentford. He didn't have a good game by his own
he's been out for a long time
by any means. So this is his first start in a while, I believe.
Since the World Cup final. Euros final, World Cup, Euros final.
Yeah. So in the league.
And he's also playing out of position. He's not a left centre-back.
I feel like he is, though.
He's played there a lot.
Because he ain't got the legs to bomb up and down the wing anymore, though, Lee.
Yeah, well, we know that because he can't even stay on the pitch, but...
yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either. I agree.
I'm not sure if it's the right... Obviously, you would have Martinez there. Martinez would be the guy that's playing there if he wasn't injured, but...
Or Heaven.
Yeah, Heaven's not too bad as well, but he's injured as well.
Well, he did say that the team he's gonna play are gonna be weakened because of the Europa League.
Yeah.
So how much points do you reckon? How many games do you win out of the next 3?
I was looking at our games, bruv, and I don't feel confident on any of them, to be quite honest to you, bruv. I mean, we got West Ham. I think that's going to be a draw. I'm pretty sure we got
Chelsea.
We got Villa.
West Ham, Chelsea, Villa.
Ooh.
To be fair,
home away,
we'll probably get. Like, I'm going to be real. We'll probably get 2 points there. I don't fancy us beating. Yeah, I reckon we'll get 2 points out of those next 3 games.
I go for 1.
You know the reason why? Because in around that, and James, I can't even take that disrespectfully because I was thinking 1 point anyway. And I just thought, you know what? We might get the 2 because I'm hoping by the time we get to Villa, the final after that
Yeah, be after.
or before.
It'll be after. Yeah.
It'll be after that. So yeah, even saying that now, it's probably even going to be 1 point. But anyway, the point I'm making is I feel like all our sights are set on Europa now, right? So I don't feel like he is going to take any risks in the league unnecessarily.
Yeah.
You could see that from the team that he set up and put out yesterday. Like he's not going to take no risks because he knows that, you know, it would do him a big deal for him to get into the Champions League next season, so he can negotiate from a better standpoint.
Especially after losing De Ligt. After De Ligt comes back from injury and gets injured.
And I don't think he's going to be here long, you know, to be honest.
De Ligt.
Yeah, I think I'll get one more season and I think he'll go because he's injury ridden, the geezer. For the last 4 or 5 years, even when he was at Juve, because we got him from Juve, didn't we? So
he got from Bayern.
He was injured. Bayern.
Yeah.
And then he was at Juve before that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the time that he's been at Bayern and Juve, I know that a lot of the time that he was injured and quite often. So yeah, I don't know what he's playing like, what his condition is like, but he needs to sort that out ASAP. Yeah, man. On to the next, boys.
Yeah, on to the next. The draw, West Ham versus Spurs. Another game where realistically, manager was looking for just to give players minutes, really. And unfortunately, you may have lost one of your key players for the semi-final second leg for the season. Is that the big issue?
Injury was from the previous game.
Oh, was it? Oh, so was that before that?
You're talking about Madison?
Yeah, Madison. It wasn't from that game.
From the Europa League game. He came off injured from that.
Okay.
So yeah, he's done for the season. But going back to the game, another in a similar vein to Lamont, I think Andres is putting all his eggs in the Europa League basket right now. He did play I would say, much changed team from, you know, not having your first choice centre backs in there. And in fact, your first choice back line, because his first choice back line is Porro, Romero, Van der Ven, and Udogie, and none of them started the game. So it just shows you how much he's taken this to Premier League games. Tottenham got the first goal from a mistake. Good closing down by Tell, but not sure what Max Kilman was trying to do. I think he's trying to play a back pass back to the keeper, and Tell obviously intercepted it and played a simple ball across to Odebear to get his first Premier League goal for us, I think that is. And from that moment on, West Ham looked like scoring immediately. It woke them up. And, you know, West Ham and Spurs have always had a rivalry. So you're always going to expect a response. And it was a pretty quick one. Bowen doing what Bowen does, getting goals from making runs inside from a wide position. Great finish in the net through the goalkeeper's legs. I would expect Vicario to do better, if I'm being honest, because there wasn't anything else for Bowen to aim at, and literally he left one space, and that space was through between his legs. So made the game 1-1. And after that, I mean, it wasn't a great game of quality, to be honest with you. I think West Ham tried to impose themselves by sort of, you know, trying to add pressure, but they're trying to play a new way compared to what they had with Moyes. Obviously, Potter has his style of play, and he's still trying to implement that. And Tottenham were kind of just trying to, you know, conjure up chances when they can, but you never ever felt like either team was really capable of winning a game from there. And it wasn't a great watch, if I'm being honest. After the goals went in, it wasn't a great match, in my opinion. But we needed to get through the game without any more injuries, and we'll look forward to Thursday.
Yeah, Leon's just very. It's one of them minutes.
Yeah, no.
Bro,
What can you say though, Lee? In truth, because
honestly,
drawing to West Ham at this later stage, right? They're right next to us, so that's what it's expected. I guess you're not expected to drum them.
we never do. We don't have a great record at London Stadium, to be honest with you. West Ham usually save one of their performances for the big teams. I mean, we're not a big team in terms of the top top four big teams. But I mean, West Ham normally play well against the bigger sides and their rivals, and they always are up for Spurs games. We've never had it easy going to the London Stadium, so I didn't expect us to get anything from the game, as my prediction said, 2-1. But for us to come out there with a point is positive. The fact we didn't add another loss to the loss column
To the 19 that you already got.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was going to be 20. I still think the 20th is coming. But honestly, again, we just got to get through the next few games and dead this season, man. Can't wait for it to be over, if I'm being honest.
Well, you got Crystal Palace at home, then you got Villa away, and then you got Brighton.
Bro, we could end up with no wins. We actually might not make it to 40 points, which would be diabolical.
Hey.
Literally a point a game average is terrible. Like no Spurs manager has had a worse record in the Premier League. And that's
you got Brighton home or away? You got Brighton home or away?
Home. Tottenham at home.
Leon's going to say it doesn't matter. Leon's going to say it doesn't matter. I'm telling you.
Bro, I've seen us lose at home to Leicester, bro. I've seen us lose at home to Ipswich. Please tell me that matters. Yeah. It does not matter, bruv.
I think if you get to the final if you win on Thursday, I think it's going to kind of galvanise you a little bit.
Or players will try to go protection mode, knowing that all the injuries have been
protection mode. Even Anthony himself, like I think I must have said something to one of the journalists or something about like literally every time he sees light at the end of the tunnel, it's another train on the way towards him or something like that. And it's like every time you think that you're getting someone back or getting players back, there's another key injury. Like Maddison we know what Maddison's about. There's times where he can conjure up quality out of nothing, and then he can also flatter to deceive. Like he literally can twist himself into an oblivion. Like you just don't know what he's doing. But the type of games that we're playing, being the semi-final and potentially the final, is the type of games that we need someone like Maddison to conjure up a chance, to create something out of nothing, to make a run but in behind the defense and score. Like that's the type of thing that he's been doing in the Europa League for us. And it's a big loss, but we have to find a way. And we've had this problem all season with injuries. We have to find a way to get the results in the last 2 Europa League games and hope that we can bring a trophy and dust off the cupboard, boy. But I'm not holding my breath, man.
Harry Kane's done it.
Something to say
Harry
about
Kane's
it.
done it, so you can do it.
Boy,
You had to go to another country to do that, cuz.
But he's done
a
it.
whole other country.
Second attempt.
Him and Dyer, imagine. But man, just glad. Yeah, another point is fine. And we let West Ham below us. There's nothing more to say, man. Yeah. Let's move on.
All right, cool. Just a brief one. Obviously, Man City beat Wolves 1-0, which helped keep Wolves a little bit ahead of you. Didn't let them push further ahead of you guys. Doesn't really matter. But in terms of them catching Arsenal, it's good. De Bruyne scoring could be his last goal in the Premier League, or could it? There's talk of potential him and Arsenal.
What a hater.
Bro, I was thinking, why did James even care? Why did James care about Arsenal?
Bro, hold on. Why would De Bruyne want to go to Arsenal, bro? What's he going over there for?
He said
money.
He said that he still believes.
Well, you guys don't pay big money,
don't we? How much does Havertz on?
Yeah, Havertz is on a lot, bro.
Oh, fair.
He basically says he knows he can still play in the Premier League. Listen, he's not going to go to Nottingham Forest, all due respect. He's not going to go there. If Arsenal come calling or Chelsea come calling, he'll probably say, okay, cool. I'll have another year or two. So...
he's going Saudi.
Would I take him? Would I take him?
You're looking for a playmaker.
I'll take De Bruyne. I'll take De Bruyne. Because from what he's saying his issue, he had a particular injury. I forgot what he said it was now. He had a particular injury that he was playing through, and they never let it rest and cure properly. Now it has. Now that the injury is fixed, it could be a case where you could get a good KDB for 1 or 2 years. So for 1 or 2 years, give him 1 year contract, 1+1. play Gravenberch, Kevin De Bruyne, and McAllister, we would be way more threatening. We lose. Obviously, the news has come out officially today. Trent has gone. He's done his little sub story that he wants to leave. Fair enough. More power to him. I think he'll do well at Real Madrid.
They're burning shirts already, innit? I see.
They're doing it before the result. Before he officially said it.
Was that before?
Yeah, they did. They did it a couple of months ago. So one guy burned his shirt.
Shame,
They were
boy.
burning
Shame.
shirts, bro.
Bro, and then you got Jamie Carragher saying that the press shouldn't talk about Liverpool fans being upset. This guy, you know what it is? It's only when it's
so
Liverpool.
salty
His
as well.
contradictions are unbelievable.
Because if it's other fans, oh no, you shouldn't be like that. Oh, come on, man. I get it. Everyone's got
I know what
fans.
I know what he's saying. I agree with what he's saying. He's basically saying that every fan has the right to be upset, so people shouldn't be telling other teams not to be upset. I don't think he's gone around and said other fans shouldn't be upset about something. So in his point, the other fans and other pundits shouldn't say Liverpool shouldn't be upset. You should leave them alone. Let Liverpool fans feel how they want to feel, innit? I'm not like outraged that he's leaving. I'm more annoyed of how he's leaving rather than the fact he's leaving. Like, anyone can leave and we find someone else. I'd just rather we'd had good money for him, and if not, just say so earlier. My point. I said it to Leon before we came on. He knew he was leaving in January because Real Madrid don't make a bid in January unless they know you're going to say yes.
Yeah, but Liverpool weren't going to take the money.
Yeah, but the point is, the fact it doesn't matter if they're going to take the money. He knew he was leaving then, so why drag it out? Why this whole talk?
So whose fault is this then?
No, listen. My point is,
the board.
No, it's not. Why? But why you look at the board?
No, I kind of
because
you
can't take 20 million. At that point, everyone says the league was done. The league was possibly done, but who knows if we got injuries like Arsenal? Who knows if Salah got a season injury? So then you keep him. That's my point.
I'm saying if you know that his contract is running down, that you don't let that contract run down like that.
No, see, people say that. People say that, yeah. But the simple fact is, when we had the issue with we had a temporary guy doing the transfers. We didn't have anyone permanent. Then Klopp says he's leaving. Let's be honest. When Klopp said he was leaving, why is Trent gonna say I'm 100% staying? So I'm not blaming Trent for leaving. I've said that already. Last summer, none of these guys knew what Slot was bringing. So I don't blame him for saying, okay, let me see what the season's got to say. Let me see how the season goes. But when you're sitting 15 points clear, then obviously the future looks good, innit? So
no, but I'm saying
he was offered contracts. He said no.
So for the last 2 years,
yes, he was offered contracts and he said no.
So
I honestly believe he didn't say nothing because he knew
he was leaving.
He had to play. No, he knew he was leaving, and he didn't want to say that he's leaving because Liverpool fans would have been giving him grief before he'd left.
No, but
so he's like,
I'm
going to get out of the country. Don't have to play at Anfield no more, and that's it. So now that I'm leaving, like if what's his name decides not to play him in certain games, it doesn't matter now because there's nothing to play for. You guys have got the title, so not. So
the reason why I don't agree with that because the point I made was. In January, Real Madrid do not make a bid unless Trent says, I will come in January if Liverpool offer the bid. From January, every Liverpool fan knew he was leaving. Only the delusional ones thought he was staying. So yeah?
Sorry, I know they said we're talking about January, but haven't Real Madrid been talking about Trent for the last 2-3 years?
No, that's this line that people keep saying. They have not been talking for 2-3 years. That's the myth that people are trying to say.
This is the first time they've put their money where their mouth is. This is the first time they put their money where their mouth is.
It's because they don't have any right backs.
Yeah.
Their right backs are injured, so the bid was legitimate.
Yes.
It wasn't like it was done deliberately to ruffle feathers.
No,
they
it
didn't need to
wasn't.
do that. They just could have waited 6 months and it would have been none wiser. But the reason they made that is because they were like, we know we want to get Trent, but we need him now because we've got no right backs. And this is the reason why they tried to thing, and Liverpool were like, no.
20 million is not enough. We've got a league title to win. And like I said before, everyone's saying it was done, it was dusted. But it's not just a league title. With Trent fully fit, we can win a Champions League, we can win an FA Cup, we can win a Premier League. Or you sell him, and if we lose the league, we lose the Champions League, everyone's going to be like, why did you sell Trent? What's 6 months? What's 20 million to Liverpool? And the fact is, what's 20 million when it comes to Trent? He's worth more than 20 million. So for the last 6 months, you keep him. So in that regard, it's come out that he was offered a contract previously. He wasn't sure. Then Klopp said he's leaving. Then before Richard Hughes actually got into the job, he phoned Trent and said, "Listen, I want you to stay." So he obviously started his job last summer. Before that, like March last year, he started talking to him and saying, "Come on, let's sign a contract, kind of flex." And he was like, "No, like I don't. I want to see what life is after, like when Klopp is
Liverpool.
gone." Yeah, what Liverpool's like after Klopp. Liverpool was good enough after Klopp, but it still wasn't good enough. So, like I said, I'm not vexed he's leaving. If he's won everything, the comparisons with other people leaving and Gerrard. Listen, we don't know if Gerrard would have left if he had won a Premier League title, because he was tempted to leave without one with Chelsea, and he got bullied into staying. If he'd won a Premier League title with Liverpool, then the whole "I want to win with my club" that might have not been a factor for Gerrard, because he would have won it.
Yeah.
So I don't compare him to anyone else, because his story is different to McManaman's, to Gerrard's, to Owens. He's won it. So if he leaves, he's leaving. I think he'll do well at Real Madrid because he's got the quality. Is he going to be protected? Because let's be honest, fans across across England cussed him because he couldn't defend. He's not going to get protection in Spain. Liverpool fans were on his case. Like, no, Trent's great. He's got another level of scrutiny that he's got to deal with. At the beginning, they will because yes, he's a new signing, but it's
like a new toy. It's like a new toy.
In 8 months' time, he's still making the same mistakes.
Real Madrid will protect him because Real Madrid have the personnel to cover his deficiencies.
Fans wise, no, the players will protect him. He'll have Valverde covering.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
But I'm talking about in terms of if he makes critical mistakes like he done at Liverpool, are the fans gonna be? Oh, he's still great. His crosses.
We know Real Madrid fans don't business.
Yeah,
they will be on to you.
That's another level that he's got to deal with.
But also, there's if you're about it, which I think that Trent mentally is about it, he'll be fine. Modric was voted the worst La Liga signing of the season, and look,
of all time. He got all time worst La Liga signing.
Bro, and look what happened. Now he's like a La Liga legend. Like he'll probably be in one of the best ever La Liga 11s there is. So it just shows you. I think Trent will be fine. And obviously Liverpool are going to be salty because you didn't get no money for him. But he's served he's not like he's brought you every trophy you could possibly win at the top level. And he's been part of that. So to me, he's done his thing. Obviously, it's my opinion.
Yeah, it's the words as well, though. Obviously, at the beginning, when you said, and it's been put on camera, would you go to anywhere else? No. I want to be Liverpool captain. I want to lift trophies as Liverpool captain, all this other stuff. People who are Liverpool fans, like myself, and Scousers, who lived his exact road, exact life, want to be where they don't take that lightly. You've said this. You said you want to be Liverpool captain. You've come through the academy. You've done this. They're not going to accept it like other fans will. And other clubs will.
He didn't join Everton or Man United behind your back. That's
the thing. Some people see Real Madrid as our rivals, European rivals, because obviously we've lost to them twice in the Champions League final.
Wow. I get it though.
Real Madrid are the enemies of everyone. If that's the
they
case,
are.
That is a big reach,
but that's how some people. That's what some people believe. Some people see it.
No, it's simple. He wants to go and play.
They're a rival.
Yeah,
and they are a rival.
He wants to go and play. He wants to go and play football in the same team as his brethren. That's what he wants to go and do. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what he's got to do, man. Go play there for a couple of years.
It's going to be interesting.
Probably end his career there.
No Ancelotti. So it's all.
It could be Xabi Alonso though, man.
It could be Xabi playing a back three. Is Trent going to play midfield or wing back? Boy,
that's true.
That's another
Watch
story.
His space.
That's another story.
Watch his space.
We'll move. Obviously, with the news of Trent officially announcing he's leaving, we couldn't not have a little debate about it. But we'll move on to predictions for the next game week.
West Ham United 1-1.
Man came right out of the gate. Boy.
Man United at home 1-1.
1-1. Okay, Bevan, straight on to you then.
3-0 Liverpool.
3-0 Liverpool. Okay.
Bro, it's after the game, you know, not before. As in
What's it
PSG, the game is Wednesday, right? So you're playing
PSG's Wednesday.
Yeah.
Huh?
PSG's Wednesday, I know.
Yeah. So why
Yeah,
do
I
you
know.
think you're gonna get humbled like that, bro?
He's
Because,
like, did I
bro,
stutter? 3-0 Liverpool.
I've seen the way my team's been awful for the last couple of months.
Listen,
So
I
I'm
hope
gonna
you're
go
right.
to-
I hope you're right.
I'm gonna go.
That's what I can say.
Listen, look. Like,
He's the only one getting predictions right all year. So
Yeah, boy.
boy.
I'm saying it's. I really, this is what I really don't want to get right. But if things don't go well against PSG, I could just see the team fall into
To be
pieces.
fair, all these wild ones have been wrong, though.
Yeah, I know.
All these
The
wild ones
wild
have been
one.
wrong. So he's gone for a wild one. Not even a... Anyway.
I don't think that's wild.
I hope
really.
you're right. Bro, 3-0 at home against
Bro,
Arsenal
your
is wild,
defense
bro.
is still good,
Exactly.
bro.
Exactly. And it's not like you need to rest anyone because, like Leon said, the PSG game is really done. So you can play your full strength team.
I think
The
that
only
game's
way
got
you're going to
more-
get
it's got
humbled
a
like
draw
that is if
written
you
all
go
over
to
it.
red
extra
cards.
time and penalties and lose on penalties.
And
Then
there's a red
you
card in the game against us.
You're playing with 10 men.
Okay, we'll see
But
what
anyway,
happens.
that's the 3-0.
We'll see what happens.
Daryl has said 2-1.
Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
To
2-1 Crystal Palace, Daryl said.
And we're at home. Yeah, Crystal Palace have been doing all right lately. I'm going to go 2-1 Spurs.
Okay.
Yeah?
Keep you
Why, Leah?
Yeah, I like
Positive
it.
Honestly, no, it's not
manifestation.
even that, bro. I'm just trying to get our prediction right. Like, I've got 1. Bevan's got like 5 or 4 or something like that. I need to
We
chase
need to
him
make sure
down.
we're running that table next season.
I'm
I'm
gonna
sure I
say
got 4 or 5 right.
I think
Yeah?
it's gonna be we say? You got 4 or 5.
I'm sure I got 4 or 5 right.
wrong in a
You're
row.
wrong, bro. You ain't got not 1 wrong right this season, bro. Not 1.
I actually think it's gonna be a 1-1 draw, but I'm gonna be optimistic and say 2-1 Liverpool. But I don't believe it. I think it's gonna be a draw. But I'll go 2-1 Liverpool. So that's the predictions for this week. Man. It's been a not so great weekend for all of us, really.
You would think that they
You
just lost out on the league, bro.
Listen,
Carrying on.
listen, we lost. I don't like losing
James,
games.
we even got 40 points, bro.
Fam, innit?
I don't
Chill,
want to
man.
hear it.
Chill, man. Trust
We
me.
lost.
You're good. You're good
It's our
over
biggest
there.
defeat of the season, man. 3-1.
You're good over there, man. You're good over there. Trust me.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification button. Take it easy, guys. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.
We lost 3-1.